on Headliner Nation. We are here, the 2023 NFL Draft. It doesn't get much better than this. The draft stage right behind us. You got the Doc, Kyle, myself, and the Lone Boner in the house. Figured we'd go live for a little bit and just see if anybody had any early day questions, right? We still got like 7 hours or so before the draft kicks off, but start hitting us with some questions. We would love to just hang out and talk with you guys here for the next few minutes. I mean,
you want us to be louder? Taylor's handling all the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Shout out to Taylor.
Yes.
Making things look good, but we're down here. We've got media stuff we're going to go pick up later, but we're hanging out with the fans right now, right up next to the stage, and we're going to be breaking down the draft. Obviously, that last mock draft posted the other day. We'll see how close we get with it. A lot of talk at the top of the draft right now. They said earlier, Will Anderson likely to be the number 2 pick. A lot of people said that they wanted a quarterback there. I've been saying Will Anderson all along. Does it happen? Potentially a trade for Arizona, Tennessee talking about coming up. Who's the quarterback that they want? A lot of different things can happen at the top of the draft tonight. So it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a really fun night.
What up, Timo? What up, D Brown?
What's going on? Hey, if you guys are in the Kansas City area at all, make sure if you're down here, you're taking pictures, you're tagging us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. I mean, maybe you never know. Maybe we'll be able to meet you yourself if you're down here in this area. Looking forward to it, though. Like I said, we got a long time before the draft kicks off, but it's kind of cool just to come down here, see a little bit of the behind-the-scenes type stuff. I mean, we got all the media network, the booth set up here. We got sound checks going on behind us. We just met Chase Young's dad again. He was on the plane with us here. Saw him here, came up to us, shook our hand. Very nice dude. Top-notch dude right there. A lot of fun stuff. You see a lot of people walking around the streets, and a lot of time you're saying to yourself, like, who is that? Because it just looks so familiar. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for Mac or Ethan. Ethan was interviewed by Telemundo.
I was interviewed by Telemundo.
So he's
Mucho gracias for Telemundo. Yeah, there's just cameras everywhere, guys. I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff just on the fly here, but we're just grateful to get the opportunity. We appreciate Headliner Nation. We appreciate you guys because you guys supporting us is how we get to do fun things like this. We're excited about the draft. Kyle mentioned a lot of stuff that could happen. I'm curious to see, do we see any vets move? Do we see a DeAndre Hopkins get traded? Do we see a Keenan Allen get traded? There's a lot of guys that are on the block right now that we haven't even heard are on the block, could be getting moved. And so we're excited to see what happens. We're obviously going to be covering all of that when it happens live here from the draft. But we want you guys to ask us some questions. What do you think is going to happen? Let us know in the comments because we're here to have fun. We're here to answer questions. We're here for fun, but we're also here to bring this experience to Headliner Nation from Kansas City. So I think I speak for everybody here. We are excited to be here to bring this live to Headliner Nation.
I don't let Ethan ever speak for me, but I will say that in that moment, he is correct.
Yeah, except for the fact that he went and bought a Steelers hat.
Well,
so now we got 2 Steelers fans in our group. I don't know how that's going to roll for the rest of the night, but like they said, it's going to be a lot of good fun. Obviously, we can't be live for the entire draft. So we're going live here early. The video will post to our channel. You'll have an opportunity to ask comments down below. I have my phone. Everybody's got their phone. So we're going to be answering every comment on this video. So make sure if you got questions, leave it down below in the comment section. And looking forward to talking some football with you guys here today.
Do we have members out there?
Cowboys go Bijan.
Cowboys go. I don't think Bijan lasts long enough. I think the Cowboys would have to move up.
It's not good to ever say a man can't last long enough on the internet.
Yeah, I don't think Bijan lasts long enough. But I think the Cowboys would have to come up, and they've already learned their lesson with that. I mean, investing that franchise tag in Tony Pollard shows me, after releasing Zeke, that they think he's the guy. So taking another running back in the first round, even though that is a Jerry Jones-esque pick, if he's there, it could happen, but I don't think Bijan lasts that long.
Casey says Bijan to ATL. Ray says Bijan to the Eagles. Book it.
I think
Casey
both
doesn't know anything.
Picks.
Casey doesn't sound like he knows what's going on.
Is it the right Casey?
Wait,
It's the right Casey.
Okay, it's the right Casey. Oof, that was bad. If it had been another Casey, I would have felt totally bad.
You just offended a new subscriber.
Ethan,
Yeah, what's
TJ
up?
wants you to go interview a Jets fan about Rodgers.
A Jets, man, I'm going to have to find. There's
none.
fans to every
Look.
single NFL team. Do we even know if the Jets have fans?
Yeah, the Jets fans, they're not even here. They didn't even show up.
I literally hear you're right. I'm looking around. I don't see
I think
one.
I've maybe seen.
Oh, yes, right there.
Oh, we got a Jets fan.
Right there.
Go grab him, Ethan. Bring him over here.
It's a girl.
Oh, you want me to go?
grab
No,
her.
it's a family.
It's a family.
It's a
Go grab
family.
the whole
A family of Jets
How about
fans.
you guys follow
They're on their
over
way
there?
out.
Go follow them over there.
Okay, here. Let's go. We're finding a Jets fan for Casey. All right, let's make sure we can find them. All right. They're walking away from us. This is going to be tough. Everyone knows I'm the slowest person on the team, but we're going to find some Jets fans. All right. We're looking. We got them, but they're still walking away from us. Yo, we're looking for Jets fans. We got some Jets fans right here. Yo, what's going on, guys? Is it okay if we record a little bit for YouTube? All right, we're here with the Fantasy Headliners. We found some Jets fans. Guys, how are you guys enjoying the NFL draft so far?
Man, love it. Every year, love it.
Love to see it. Now, is this your first draft? No. How many drafts have you guys been to?
I have been to the last 13.
13 drafts. This guy is a pro. Give me some advice. First year for us, covering the draft live. What's your advice?
Man, I would say definitely have fun. Eat the local food. Always have the local food. It's the best thing for it. And the biggest thing is like just talk to people. The best thing about the draft is that it's all 32 teams all competing on the same field at the same time, and you get a real chance to like meet people, meet fan bases you never get to talk to, and have a great time.
All right, now I gotta know, guys, how do you feel about your new quarterback?
I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited. I made them all dress up under force of penalty. Yes, a little excited. I think we got a chance to make a run at this thing.
We're making a run. You heard it here first. Jets fans believe it. Aaron Rodgers is the guy. Now, you still have a first-round pick. Who do you think it's going to be?
I'm hoping it's a left tackle to protect a little bit of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Broderick Jones out of Georgia, Paris Johnson if he falls at Ohio State. But whoever we get, man, Joe Douglas is the man. He's got it.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you letting us take a little bit of time. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, the Fantasy Headliners. Appreciate it, guys. Awesome. Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
I mean, you've seen it, Casey. The Jets fans are excited, man. The Jets fans want to know what's up with Aaron Rodgers. They think they've got a chance this year, and I'm not going to lie, that team was pretty good last year outside of quarterback. It's pretty rare that a team is good outside of quarterback, so we'll see what they can do in this year's draft to just help that guy out. Like they said, offensive tackles, a little shaky for the Jets, so we'll see what happens with that.
But to stay on the Jets conversation, we talked about this yesterday for a little bit. Is there any chance in hell that Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are closer to what Russell Wilson and the Broncos were than what Tom Brady and the Bucks were? I think it's a question that's worth asking. I think it is.
I think we're really going to see what happens with that Jets team, because if they miscalculated, if the team was not ready to take that jump, this could be a total disaster for the Jets.
And I will say this, and I will go back to what I said last season as well. It wasn't Russell Wilson's fault last year. All right, a lot of it was on Nathaniel Hackett.
Zach Wilson.
But guess who is in New York now? So, and it's, I mean, the Denver Broncos falling apart last year was crazy. Are the Jets going to be that bad? I don't think so. But I think this could be a team where if 39, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers isn't the Aaron Rodgers of old that has won MVPs, yes, he's got better weapons right now, but what's the offensive line going to look like? If they can't protect him, if he's just scrambling around, they're not going to have time to get open. So, I mean, I don't know if we're seeing a Super Bowl run this year. I think if Tua stays healthy all year, Miami's going to give them a run for their money. New England is probably not going to be as good this year. I don't see it. I don't see New England being that good. It's a possibility that New England could finish fourth in the division this year. Could it happen?
Do you think the Ravens will trade up with the Raiders?
The Ravens will trade up. Well, I guess it depends on who we think they would be trading up for at that point. I don't know.
I don't know if they have the picks necessarily to make that move, because that's a pretty huge jump.
Yeah.
You're moving from the 20s all the way up into the top 10 picks. That's a move that's almost out of reach for most teams. I don't see a guy that instantly changes the Ravens from a team building perspective, that they're going to be able to get at 7 that's worth the price it's going to take to get up that high from where they're picking right now. I don't know. Mac, you're our local Raiders expert. What do you think?
Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. Sorry, Ravens.
Well, local Lamar fan. it's a possibility that they can move up. My biggest thing is if they're gonna keep Lamar, or have any intentions of doing that, they're gonna have to get him some offensive weapons. The Raiders have been known to go defense early and often, and they'll probably still do that. But again, if they want to keep him happy, they got to get him some offensive weapons. So who knows?
Shout out Darth Desmond for gifting some memberships.
What up, Ben? Ben has a very long streak of gifted memberships. He gifts them all the time, it feels like. So a big thank you to you, Ben. Appreciate your support, my man.
They say Matt got style. Y'all look at the outfit.
Yo,
Look,
check the fit. Check the fit.
look at the kicks.
Damn.
My man fire.
Feel me?
My man fire.
Yo, I try to keep it up, make it do what it do, baby.
Mac and Ethan got these cool hats.
Yo, check the hat.
Show them the.
We got the official NFL draft patch. Well worth it. Steelers always representing. But it's really about the patch. It's about proving that this is the actual hat that whoever the Steelers pick in the first round, he's going to be repping the same hat. And now I got hat hair, so I got to make sure keep my hat on.
And that is the only thing Ethan would have in common with any first round pick is the hat he's wearing.
I appreciate that, Kyle. Appreciate all the contributions that Kyle makes to the team. I'm currently on a 2-hour. Sorry, we got about an hour left of being nice to Kyle. I'll be honest, it's the hardest 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, apparently we lost a bet or something. We have to be nice
No,
to Kyle
I
until
was able
1:30.
to get us quicker access. We'll say that.
Kyle cut in front of every person.
That's not entirely true.
He cut in front of the line, and that's how he ended up.
I pushed a small kid to the ground. He cried. I said, life isn't all about what you can and can't get. So
Life's not fair.
life's not fair, kid.
Even as a kid. So.
Any more questions? We got to have some questions, man. I know there's people
In
watching
there.
this.
Casey said JSN to the Packers a minute ago.
I don't think JSN lasts till the Packers. I think he's gone before then. I think the Packers would have to trade up to take him. I understand getting Jordan Love weapons. And if they were to trade up for JSN, I don't mind that at all. They've already got like an outside wide receiver threat with Christian Watson. Dobbs kind of fits that slot role a little bit more that JSN would obviously fit into right away. I still think the Packers go tight end. Not that I love it being a Lions fan. You know my thoughts about first-round tight ends. It's never worked out. So for me personally, I don't know if I love it from that standpoint, but getting a tight end that can help block on the line for Jordan Love and then can also be a receiving threat down the field, Michael Mayer is like the perfect fit for Tampa Bay in the first round, 100%.
Shout out Darth Desmond, says, can't believe it's been 7 months since I came here. Can't wait to go through a whole season with y'all. Starts today.
Appreciate it.
Ben, appreciate being a member for so long, my man. Thank you. Any other questions? Who else is out there?
Chuck says, Zay Flowers first off the board.
First wide receiver? Ooh, I don't think he has risen quite that much. I still think that JSN is first off the board, or somebody still ends up going Quentin Johnson first. I know Johnson's fallen a little bit while Zay Flowers has kind of went up, but that's that like off-season like dynamic we see where players will rise and fall for really no reason at all, or pro day videos or combine results or whatever it is. But when you take a look at the tape and when you take a look at the receiver, Quentin Johnson is still over Zay Flowers for me right now.
K-Mix says, how many Super Bowls have the Steelers won and the Lions?
I
We
mean,
got 6, baby.
we know the
I can tell you
Lions.
that.
We know that.
6.
We don't
Now
need to
it's
talk
really
about
cool if you look like all the way up here. We got the World War I memorial up there, and kind of right below it is the Lombardi Trophy area for the Chiefs last year. And I told everyone, I said it's going to be really cool when the draft is in Detroit next year that they'll also be able to show off the Detroit Lions Lombardi Trophy because they're going to go all the way this year.
Michael says, Kalijah Cansey to the Chargers over projected Addison. What do you think?
I don't mind it. The Chargers have had kind of an issue stopping the run and kind of filling up that middle hole there on the defensive line the last couple of years. So Kalijah Cansey going there, I don't mind it. He's been a fast riser as well. The Aaron Donald comparisons absolutely meet the criteria there. Addison I do have going to the Chargers right now just because I think they're going to have to replace Keenan Allen and or Mike Williams because literally they could cut both of them to save some money last year. And they're going to have to kind of keep replenishing those weapons for Justin Herbert. So you're going to be signing him to a contract extension.
Oscar Serrano sent in a super chat, said, would Young be a top 12 fantasy QB at Carolina?
No. Jake, what do you think?
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
Would Young be a top 12 fantasy QB at Carolina?
No, I do not believe so. I do not believe so. I mean, I love the talent of Bryce Young. I just don't love the situation there for Bryce Young. He doesn't have that outgoing personality that's really going to go in there and command a locker room. And it worries me that going into Carolina, he may kind of get swallowed up a little bit there. So that worries me. I would much rather see C.J. Stroud in Carolina personally.
I still have C.J. Stroud as QB1. I still have C.J. Stroud as QB1. Bryce Young is safer at this point. C.J. Stroud is going to have more upside.
But here's the thing. We went through this before with Lamar Jackson. Everybody said Lamar Jackson, he's a great athlete. We don't know how good of a quarterback he's going to be. If you could go back to that draft, you're taking Lamar Jackson first overall because from an athletic standpoint, he was the best athlete and he had the most potential to be a fantasy asset. So that guy's Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best NFL quarterback year one, but from a fantasy perspective, I don't know if there's a better player outside of Bijan Robinson from a fantasy-only perspective. We're not looking at it from the NFL lens, only from the fantasy football lens, than Anthony Richardson. That guy is electric on the ground. He's a freak athlete. He's got all the things we loved about Lamar Jackson. He has, and he's 6'4", like 240. The dude is huge. This is basically the next Cam Newton-esque player. And I don't know if he's as good of a thrower as Cam Newton was coming out of college, but he has all the physical tools to be the best quarterback from this draft. So if you're drafting in Dynasty, or we're talking about fantasy football this fall, I have a hard time moving away from Anthony Richardson being the first guy to make a huge impact from a fantasy perspective.
Go ahead, Max. No, Max
Well,
up.
I'm just going to interject with what Ethan was saying. He could literally almost echo what Justin Fields did from a fantasy standpoint. It just really depends on what team he goes to. If he goes to a team that has a little bit of weapons around him and also allows him to run and use his physical abilities, he could be exceptional. He could be a top 25 quarterback. But again, he's got to have the volume. He's got to be able to just be free because he's still raw. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has a huge arm, but he's got to be surrounded by proper talent and given the volume.
The Chiefs fans are getting all riled up behind us right now. And for those of you watching that saw it, I did do a video, I don't know, like a month ago, right after the Combine on Anthony Richardson again. I mean, if you guys have been around and you're members, you remember me talking about Anthony Richardson months ago and telling you that this was going to be one of the fastest riders in this draft and that he was a guy that I absolutely loved the potential of. Now, the one thing I've changed this year, in the video I talked about the fact that I missed badly on athletic QBs in the past. I missed badly on Josh Allen. I missed badly on Jalen Hurts. I was wrong about both of those guys. Mac and I agree on Lamar Jackson. That was a guy I thought could be successful, but I wasn't going to make that mistake with Anthony Richardson this year where I knocked the guy so much for his accuracy potential that I was going to take away everything else that he could do as a player, and that's why I'm so high on Anthony Richardson this year. I'm not making that mistake again. If you look at the draft profiles for Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, all of your running quarterbacks recently, they all talk about knocking the player because of his midfield accuracy. And it's the same thing on Anthony Richardson. He's got a cannon, he can go down the field, but can he be accurate over the middle of the field? He'll learn it. As long as he goes to the right organization, he'll learn it, he'll be fine, and he's going to end up blowing up into a superstar. I'm not missing on Anthony Richardson. I'd rather be wrong about him and tout him a lot because he has that ceiling and that potential.
Could Miami trade into round one, or are they just banned this year?
They're banned. No, they can trade in if they wanted to.
They just use their pick.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I think what you probably need to do is hit the like button if you just think Kyle likes Anthony Richardson because they share the same last name.
False.
I mean, that's kind of what I
could
think.
be true.
That's false.
I mean, but
Yeah.
hit the like button anyway.
Daniel says, can you find some Texans fans and see who they want
We
for their
do, right in
two
front of
picks?
us, JJ Watt.
Go get them.
Go get him. Right here.
Go grab them. Tell them to come back over here.
Yo, Texans fans, you want to be in the YouTube video real quick? Come here real fast.
Come on, Texas
We
fans.
live real quick.
Yo, we're live on
You're
YouTube.
live
You're
on
good with
YouTube
us
right now.
recording you?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
All right, what's up, man? You from Texas?
Houston, yes, sir.
All right, you came all the way up here. Now, I got to know, because I know that people in Texas love barbecue. You had some Kansas City barbecue yet?
I have twice. It's twice.
It's good?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
It's about the sauce here, though.
I need-
feel like,
all about the
I feel like
sauce.
we
I
do
need some
dry
heat.
rub differently, but here it's about the sauce. It's,
right.
it's
I need
its
some
own
heat.
sauce. It's
Up
hella
here,
good,
it's
man.
sweet. It's
yeah.
sweet up here. I need some heat
Now,
behind
is
it.
this the first time you guys have been to an NFL draft?
No.
We do it every year.
Every year. How many years we've
Been to
been?
3.
3 now. All right.
I've been to 3 myself. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, Texans got a big pick, huge pick this year. Where do you think they should go?
2, Stroud and his receiver Najigba at 12.
We're pairing them up. You agree? He's not sure,
with
man.
With the new coach, man, like I trust what he's gonna do, and it's, if just believe in the system, because
Yeah.
this guy's coming in. Everybody wanted him. He chose here, so
Yeah.
good luck.
That's
good luck.
awesome.
That's
That boy
what we're
D'Amico
ready. We're
Ryans.
ready. This is our year, man.
That's awesome.
Coming back.
Now,
So-
you think the defense is going to be a big improvement just from him being
How is
there?
it not?
Yeah.
How
If
is
you
it
start
not?
from
Tell
down
me
here,
you didn't get,
anything
like, a
else
little
is an
excited
improvement.
here and
I mean, it's
that
not a
side,
steel
man.
curtain, but
We're ready,
Now,
man.
now, you guys traded Brandon Cooks. Was that retribution enough for you guys, costing you the first pick?
I got an answer for that. We got Mechie coming back.
Yeah.
So if we
That's
can
right.
pick up Najigba, then we got the ends done.
And
Our
we're
wide
good.
receiver core
You
is
think
solid.
Mechie's good to go?
Mechie's solid. He showed up
He's a
for
good- he's
voluntary
a good
practice
kid, man.
yesterday.
That's
I'm
awesome.
ready. Beat
ready.
leukemia. Fuck cancer.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great time at the draft. Want you guys to have a good time. You going every day? Every day, all 3
Oh, yeah.
days.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
ready.
Oh yeah, we'll be here.
Make sure you get some more barbecue, boys.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Oh man, you can't get wrong. That's the thing about the NFL draft. Every single team is represented. Everybody here is just ready to have a good time. It's not a competition like a normal NFL game. You got fans batting against each other. We don't have that here at the draft. Everybody's just here to root for their team, have a great time, and that's what I love about being here live is the energy. Every team is excited. Maybe not the Dolphins so much, but every team is excited. Every fan is excited. The whole entire draft is such an experience that if you ever get the chance, if it's nearby you, you got to go see it, man. You got to go see what it's like to be around other football fans that just want to talk about football, man. Because I don't know if we've talked to a single person here that did not want to just chat it up about football. And that's what I love, because that's what we love about fantasy football too. Brings people together. It's a family thing, and I love that, man.
Sweet Tea says, Kyle, find some Cowboys fans and ask them some questions.
Cowboys.
I mean, there's one in the front row.
There's
He can go
a,
get
there's a lamb jersey
Yeah,
right
there's a
there.
CeeDee Lamb. We'll keep an eye out for one to pass us. We'll keep an eye out for one. There's
Now-
probably not many here,
Yeah,
to
it's
be
not
honest
a lot
with
of
you.
them. I will say though, Ethan just had a great speech about how nice everybody has been. There has been one instance of trash talk, and it was between the Giants and the Cowboys, and it's when we were on our way in here. A Giants fan had a few choice words for a Cowboy fan, but outside of that, it's crazy because you think of so many teams. Fans in the NFL are passionate, right? But when they all get together, we're all here to have a good time. I mean, everybody else, it's just going to be a lot of fun down here in Kansas City for the next 3 days. I'm looking for Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I was
We're
looking
looking
too.
to-
I'm
I'm
not
not
seeing
Keep an eye on.
Casey with $2 says, F the Vikings.
Oh my God. All right, Casey, appreciate the $2 donation. Some things that we're keeping an eye on right now, again, at the very top of the draft, it sounds like there's going to be some movement tonight. If the Texans end up going Will Anderson at number 2, which are some people tweeting that is going to happen, and it's going to be a frenzy at that point because now you've got a quarterback falling and you've got a team in Arizona that has already said, we're willing to trade up or trade out of it. So now, are they going to get what the Chicago Bears got from Carolina? Probably not, but they could get something pretty decent in that area of that where you're getting that whatever the first round pick is for the team moving up this year and next year, a couple of extra picks with it. I think that works out really well there, especially with how many needs Arizona has. Moving back would be perfect for them. There's been talk about DeAndre Hopkins being traded either tonight or tomorrow potentially, so we're keeping an eye on that. Jake already mentioned a few minutes ago, we got a chance to meet Chase Young's dad. Great family there that we got a chance to talk to. There's been talk about Chase Young potentially being traded. They just denied his 5th-year option, and there's a chance that if Washington wants to move up for some reason, that Chase Young could be a part of that trade. So we'll keep an eye on that as well, but a lot of action could take place tonight, which always makes the draft a lot of fun when we get to talk about those trades and everything going crazy up there. And of course, there is going to be some probably some surprise picks that people are not aware of.
Skill says, what time does the draft start and how long are you guys out here?
I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then we're going to be out here all night. We're going to be out here all night. We do have to go pick up media credentials here in a few minutes. We'll have to run over there and do that, but we're taking the draft by storm. We're going to be out here with the people, interviewing, talking to them, and see what happens.
Our car won't get towed until 2 a.m., so we're good till 2 a.m., at least today, and then we'll be back.
I found a Cowboys fan. He's over there. Should I go grab him and ask him if he wants to come over here?
Yeah. First Litnick with a $10.69.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course. Nick, appreciate you.
Says, boys, how we doing? Enjoy the trip. We'll miss you this weekend on Call of Duty, Kyle. Enjoy dogs. Eat all the food.
Hey, y'all hold it down for me. I'll be back to help you out with rank next week.
And he also gifted 10 memberships as well.
Nick did? Lit Nick with the 10 gifted, baby. Appreciate you, Nick. I'm going to go get that Cowboys fan real quick. I'll be back.
All right, well, now while Kyle walks about a quarter of a mile, Kyle's going to walk over here. This guy is straight ahead taking a picture right here. All right, there. I can't see your screen. He's in this general vicinity. But Kyle's going to go over there and try to see if he wants to be on YouTube or not. We expect that over the next few hours, this is going to get pretty freaking crazy down here. I don't even think, and I don't think you can see it from the camera, but you see the monument. This is an entire grass field up there. And when you enter the draft, they make it look like you can only go there. There's like a walkway down here to the street to where you can get right in front and nobody knows about it. So we've camped out here. We have ourselves a nice little spot, and we're just going to hang out for the next, till like midnight Eastern time. It's going to be a lot of fun talking to people, having Ethan interview people. I mean, everyone likes to see Ethan interview people.
Let's see. Brizzleton Jones. Is
What
that my
Briz?
boy Jake
That's
rocking
right.
a Chargers hat? I knew I liked you.
That's right. I got to represent Austin Eckler. He's got to be the number one fantasy relatable player because he acknowledges the game of fantasy football. He enjoys it. He partakes in it. So I got to make sure I represent and support that dude.
Cue ball with a $4.99 dono. Thanks, Cue ball. I agree with Kyle's last mock. Bijan to Philly.
All right, here we go. Cowboys fan.
I got a Cowboys fan here.
Let's get it.
So we are live right now. You're good with being recorded.
I'm good.
What's your name?
My name's Blake.
Blake, this is Blake YouTube hanging out with us. All right, so big question mark here for you.
Yes, sir.
Does Jerry Jones go with the splashy pick like he likes to do, or is he going to do the right thing and take something that he needs?
I think it depends on who's there. I'm hoping personally Jackson Smith and Jigba, if he's there at receiver, or if Bijan's there. I think that those are the two like splash picks he would make if they were there. But I don't know if they will be there at that time. So I low-key think he's gonna go maybe offensive line.
Offensive line. All right. A lot of people have been asking about Bijan going to Dallas. We know that Jerry loves his running backs, but with the departure of Zeke, it feels like maybe he learned that lesson trying to spin that pick. And do you like Tony Pollard as much as we do? I love Tony Pollard. I think he's the guy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tony Pollard. I think he proved himself last year when Zeke was injured, like playing by himself, and he got all those snaps. He tore up in every single one of those games that he was in. So I definitely feel like he is the guy.
Nice. So if there is a pick that would make you say, F this, I'm done with the draft and walk out here, what would be that pick? What would be the pick that you would hate the most?
I don't even know. Probably, well, to be honest, maybe an offensive lineman, just because I feel like drafting an offensive lineman is boring sometimes.
Okay, so even the boring pick.
Yeah, a boring pick, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So do you think like a Bijan or a JSN takes you to the next level? Like you unseat the Eagles. This is the year for the Cowboys Super Bowl. Does that do that?
I don't know if it does it, to be honest. I'm not gonna. I feel like a lot of Cowboys fans would say that it is. It would do that, but personally, I don't know if it would, to be honest.
Gotcha. YouTube, say thanks to Blake. Appreciate him. It was nice to meet you, man. Enjoy the draft. Have a good one, man.
Appreciate it.
That was Blake. Sweet Tea, there is your Tucker. I don't know why I called you Sweet Tea. There's your Cowboys fan. He wants the splashy pick like we've talked about. He wants the Bijan. He wants the JSN and everything like that. I don't know. I mean, obviously for fantasy purposes, it'd be a lot of fun, but I don't know if it makes the Cowboys better than they are right now.
See, I was looking to see if I missed it here. How do the Cardinals mess up their draft this year?
They actually make a selection in the first round. Would be a problem. They can get so much. They have so many needs. One early round pick is not gonna fix the problems that they have. especially if Houston goes Will Anderson, they can get a king's ransom there for that early round pick and definitely help themselves for the future by getting more picks.
We got a nice little overcast now. It was warm there for a little bit, and we all said to ourselves, wearing all black probably was not in the best case for us. But we got a little overcast now, which is good, shielding us from the sun, because we're going to be out here for a while today.
We got a question. What will the best NFL fantasy pick be today? What's the best pick for fantasy?
Bijan to the Eagles.
Yep.
Bijan to the Eagles.
100%.
He's an immediate top 5 pick at that point, honestly. And I know a couple of years ago, the CEH hype, right? CEH was drafted at the end of the first, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, by the Kansas City Chiefs, and we probably need to be quiet around here about that pick, okay? But they make that pick, and we told everybody at that time that was drafting him top 10, don't do it. But CEH and Bijan are completely different players. Bijan is an absolute stud all-around running back that can do multiple things. He runs hard. CEH wasn't really that type of player, but people are like, oh, Jamal Charles again and things like that. Clearly it hasn't worked out. But when you go to a team that has a top 5, top 10 offensive line, however you want to call it there, a team that produced a guy last year in Miles Sanders that had a career high in yards per carry, a career high in yards, a career high in touchdowns, career high in carries, everything like that, you get a guy like Bijan, he's automatic top 5 at that point.
First, Oscar says, with a 199 dono, where will Jimmy G rank as a fantasy QB? Top 15?
Woo. That's a tough.
I mean, I do think the one thing he's got going for him is he's got an alpha at wide receiver. And so you've got an alpha at wide receiver. I don't think that keeps him, I wouldn't say lower than 22. Like, he's probably in the top 22 for sure. I just don't know, like, what is his ceiling from a quarterback perspective? They kind of have shown in his career that whoever has him wants him to be a game manager. So if he's just going to be a game manager, I don't see how you can throw him up there in the top 15. He doesn't run a whole lot, and so that's going to limit his upside from a fantasy perspective. We just know that. I would say that Jimmy G is probably going to get underdrafted this year, especially in 2 quarterback leagues, just because I do think he's going to be able to put up fantasy points. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Josh Jacobs at running back. That team is going to be able to move the ball. The question is it going to be flashy enough to justify throwing him into a lineup every week? Like, is the ceiling high enough to really justify that, putting him in there? I think he's more of a backup, I would say 18 to 25.
Flex leagues, QB2 and super flex leagues, somewhere in that area. But I think one thing you need to keep an eye on too is, does a quarterback fall to the Raiders tonight and they make that selection? Because Jimmy G's contract is really only a 2-year deal. All the money is really front loaded. So if they make an investment in a quarterback tonight, and then you see Jimmy Garoppolo, who has had issues staying healthy at times, get banged up, or maybe at some point in time they say, hey, Jimmy G just isn't cutting it, we got to go with the next guy up, it could end up happening. So I think that's something to keep an eye on as well too tonight if they go quarterback. If they go quarterback, I think the safety of Jimmy Garoppolo goes out the window at that point.
How many QBs go in the first round tonight?
At least 4, if not 5. I could see Hendon Hooker sneaking into the back half of the first round tonight.
A little over under there?
A little under at 4. If you were to set it at 3.5, I would hammer the over easily. If you were to set it at 4.5, I'd get a little bit more skeptical at that point.
Dono from Sebastian.
What up, Sebastian?
Best fantasy spot for JSN, assuming picks 10 to 20.
Mac, what do you think? JSN. Best landing spot. What team gets him to being a top 15 wide receiver this year?
That's easy. Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
That's easy.
10 to 20. 10 to 20.
Okay, 10 to 20.
So only the picks 10 to 20.
Gotcha.
Okay. It's a tough one, man.
Do you think if, let's say, where do the Ravens pick again?
No, yes.
All right, so it could be a little bit on the back half there, maybe. I don't know.
I'm looking to see who else could be in there.
It's kind of tough in that area.
Yeah, that area is a little bit tough. We don't want him in Detroit because we already got a Monra on the slot. We don't want to mess with that.
What about the Jets?
I mean, he goes if he went to the Jets.
From the Jets' perspective, outside of Garrett Wilson, what do you? I mean, and Alan Lazard, but like Alan Lazard is not enough.
He's complimentary.
Garrett Wilson, you put those two on the outside, put Jason in the slot, and then you're cooking, man.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it shows Aaron Rodgers, hey, we will invest in them.
Yeah.
Like we will do everything it takes to make the offense great. I'm not saying it's the best pick, but from a fantasy perspective, I could see him racking up, 60, 70 catches in that offense because they're going to be throwing.
We've seen Aaron Rodgers really take care of the slot in the past. Randall Cobb a few years ago was like a top 10, top 15 fantasy asset. And as much as it sounds like probably not the biggest need for the Jets, I mean, they did go out and they got Mecole Hardman as well. Corey Davis is still there. You got Tyler Conklin, CJ Who's Your Mama at the tight end position. Breece Hall coming back. JSN would probably be more of a luxury than a need, but definitely a good fantasy asset for sure there.
I mean,
James, member for 9 months, draft day baby. In terms of fantasy, where would you like to see the top 2 to 3 tight ends go, Kyle?
Ooh, coming to the tight end whisperer. I think as a Lions fan, I've said it multiple times the last few days, I don't advocate for first round tight ends. I could definitely see, if we're talking about tonight, Michael Mayer in Green Bay is probably one of the best landing spots. Normally, I would say potentially having somebody go to Cincinnati, but then you're having to deal with 3 other wide receivers because T. Higgins was never traded. And it also has a lot to do with like growth, right? Like I don't picture any tight ends drafted tonight being super fantasy relevant right away. I'm not drafting any of them over, like once you get to, they turn the fountain off, the soothing, oh, there it goes, now it's back on. They get to like the Evan Ingrams, the Pat Freiermuths. You get a little bit towards the back end of the tight ends there, maybe you start looking. What are you staring at, Taylor? Taylor's laughing at me. Then maybe at that point we talk about a little bit. I don't think any of them drafted tonight would really be top 12 options right away.
All right, from Dwells, $4.99. Thanks for that. How likely do you think the Vikings take a QB in the first round since it's Kirk's last year?
I have the Vikings in my mock draft trading up. I think there is a possibility. They're going to have to be willing to give up a lot. Like for them to move up far enough to get a quarterback, we're talking about their first this year, next year, and probably the year after that to do it. So they'd have to be willing to give up a lot, but they've got to be prepared to move on from Kirk Cousins. They can't get caught with their pants around the ankles like they have, like other teams have with no quarterback.
Broncos only have 5 picks. Where did that just go? 2/3 and the rest day 3 picks. Will they spend one of those day 2 picks on an RB?
Probably. Yep, I would say yes. They probably will be. They'll get somebody.
I don't know if it's day 2 though. I think day 3 for sure.
Day two.
I mean, they signed Samaje Perine.
I would say like third round. I would say third round, but Perine he's never been able to like carry the workload. And if Javonte Williams, who we did an avoid video, and you're not really on Javonte Williams because of the knee injury. If Javonte Williams isn't ready to go, they're going to have somebody to split with Samaje Perine. So I could see a round 3 pick at running back, absolutely.
Cue Ball, member for 15 months. Who y'all got? The Eagles taken. What are they doing with their 2 picks?
I've got Bijan going to them at 10, and then I have got, I don't remember. I have a cornerback, but I don't remember. It might have been Ringo going to them at the end of the first, which I don't love. I think they would trade out, honestly.
Sean McEwen with a $4.99 donation. Jake, Mo, which is Mac, Doc, Kyle, what pick would you like to see the Chargers grab first round?
Start with Ethan. Make your way around.
I mean, I don't really have it. Like, the problem is when you get in the 20s, there's not like a crazy impact player. Like, best case scenario, be a wide receiver, JSN. I don't know if I'd take Quentin Johnson at that level, though. I mean, if JSN fell, that would be ideal. But, I mean, really, you're just hoping for any type of impact player that's going to come in right away. You can never go wrong offensive, defensive lineman. I mean, it's not sexy, it's not great for fantasy, but from a team building perspective, I mean, they could use a D tackle. I think I had them taking Brian Breesy or Kalijah Cansey. I could see that working out well for them. From the offensive side, you're getting into, there's quite a few offensive tackles that are going to be pretty good that could fall. You might probably getting the 5th or 6th guy, but I think either one I'd be okay with. I don't know.
They
need cornerback help too.
I'm still sticking with the wide receiver. Any wide receiver not named Quentin Johnson, because you already got Mike Williams, who even though he can't stay healthy, he's a similar type of wide receiver. If we can get one of those smaller wide receivers, we saw Josh Palmer last year have to try to step up, and he didn't really take that next step with the opportunity that he had. If you have a team with stud wide receivers like a Keenan Allen and a Mike Williams, and you can't win games because they're always off the field because they're hurt, we need more weapons because you're in a division that needs to score points, right? We know there's a lot of points being scored in that division, and you got to take advantage of it while you can with Justin Herbert. I'm giving him as many weapons as I can. It's kind of with the way the league is going. So give me a wide receiver, not Quentin Johnson, to the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with Jake. I think in that division, you gotta stay pat. You know what I'm saying? Or in other words, you gotta just stay with the competition. So I say Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, he could fall around 21. They compare him to Antonio Brown. I don't want to put that comparison on him, but I do think he's probably the best route runner in the draft right now. Exceptional hands. He'd be a perfect complement with Keenan Allen.
In my final mock draft, I went Jordan Addison to LA, and I think he is the perfect Keenan Allen replacement. I did not think they were going to move on from Keenan Allen this year. I do think they will move on from him after this year, though. And what they need to do is they need to keep replenishing weapons for Justin Herbert, because if you don't draft a wide receiver tonight, and the thought is you are going to move on from those guys next year, because you can move on from Mike Williams too. If he has another injury-plagued year, you can get out from underneath that contract. You can't do that and not leave weapons with Justin Herbert, who's going to have a massive extension coming up too.
Several questions, Mac and Ethan. Who the Steelers taking?
Oh man, I think Paris Johnson Jr. is a no-brainer pick if he's there. I'm okay with any offensive tackle. I don't want to guard, but any offensive tackle I'm in on. I'd be okay with a defensive tackle. I would like them to take Cansey if he falls to that early second pick. But yeah, offensive tackle. We need more offensive line help. The goal is to run the offense through Najee Harris, and you can't do that if he's not upright and he's getting blown up in the backfield.
My first choice would probably Joey Porter Jr. Again, the name speaks volume, the lineage. He's one of those guys, he's not necessarily a burner, but he knows how to hit angles. He can really be physical.
You saying he can hit the gap?
He can hit the gap. Yeah. It's very important to hit the gap. But anyway, listen, Joey Porter Jr. is my first pick, but then again, a left tackle would be pertinent. So Broderick Jones, someone like that. If we could move up, maybe, perhaps. But Joey Porter is my first pick.
Litnick with the $5 dono. Who do you think will have the best outfit out of all the draft picks tonight?
Best outfit. That is a Litnick question if I have ever heard one in my entire life, and I love
Richardson, I think.
Anthony Richardson seems like he could absolutely rip that drip. That's trademarked now. That's definitely a Kyle saying. We're going to keep that around. Rip that drip in the chat. I definitely think it's going to be one of the quarterbacks. If I had to guess, one of the quarterbacks for sure. The band's getting ready to play right now. It's going to get loud.
Right now, Dan Orlovsky up on the stage waving to everybody as he gets picked up.
ESPN right up here.
Doing some coverage. That's Ian Rappaport up there doing a little coverage as well. He's getting phone calls, man. This guy's phone must be blowing up all the time.
Not like him.
Jake's phone's blowing up. There's a lot going on here. Not really sure we needed the band, but we've got it now. We're not gonna be able to hear us very well. So the headliner crew, we just want to thank you, Headliner Nation. We're gonna keep posting live videos. We're gonna keep posting content all off season. But for sure tonight at the NFL Draft, we hope you guys have a great draft. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.